do a video on how to measure your backyard for a misting system. Okay, generally we start by walking around the house, and on both sides, front, back, mainly backyard, that's where the patios are, to see where are your existing water and electrical sources, because the idea is to use existing water and electrical sources and find a good location for a misting pump where you have a good starting point to run your tubing, and it requires the least effort for you to install your misting system. There, as you can see, there's an existing plug out here on the side of the house. So this is a very good option. Why? Because within 6 feet you have a water connection, a water faucet right here. So ideally this is a perfect location for your misting system, this corner of the house, because you know it's a perfect conditions. You got water and electrical sources within 6 feet. You do get a standard 6-foot power cord where the pump can be plugged into. It's that easy. And we also do give you a 6 feet of hose which can be plugged into any outdoor faucet, or if you don't have a faucet nearby, you can also hook it up to a garden hose. So it's simply, the tubing simply just goes from the water faucet into the inlet connection where it's marked into the inlet connection. So for example, let's say if we didn't have that water faucet so close to that electrical outlet, but the water faucet was all the way out here in the front, no worries. You can easily take any ordinary garden hose like you can see and extend it back to the pump and hook it up. So simply just take your garden hose and you can run it all the way to the pump, and it can be connected to the filter. Okay, so this is how you can bring water to the pump. You can even get a longer feed line from Mist Cooling, and we can provide that, and that tubing can be buried underground and brought to the pump, or you can have a garden hose extended. So ideally speaking, there's really no plumbing needed to install a misting pump, as long as you keep your eyes open and look at your existing water and electrical sources. Okay, so we're going to look at one more option in this backyard where a pump can be installed also. So looking at this backyard, let's say if we're walking around and we want to install a misting system in this backyard, the very first location you want to start by is finding out what are your good locations where you can put your pump, and then that becomes your starting point. And then from there on, you want to see how easy it is to run the tubing from that pump to wherever you want to actually put your misting. So in this case, you got multiple mounting points. You can put fans here, you can put line-based system here. You can do a lot in this backyard based on the layout that it has, and it's just a matter of personal preference, the homeowner preference on where they want to have the tubing, as well as where they want to locate the equipment itself. One of the great location to have misting pump is next to your pool equipment and by your AC units, because generally speaking, you more likely than not, you will have an electrical outlet there and a water faucet there. So we're going to talk about one more location where the pump can be placed using existing water and electrical sources. Over here is where you have your pool equipment and your AC units. So this area also is really tap into water sources here and put in a faucet here. The goal is to look around, walk around your house first. When you're planning on installing a misting system yourself, first just walk around 360 around your entire house. Look at where your water faucets are, look at where your electrical sources are, find a location that where the water and electrical sources are very close to each other, where you can tap into them easily and utilize those sources. Okay, so as you can see, you got one water connection there, but there's no electrical there. So, and also this is facing the street, so this is also very far from the backyard, so this doesn't become a good location to mount the pump. I think we have two good options in this house in the backyard. One is by your AC unit and the pool equipment, and second to the right of the house where the water electrical sources were within 6 feet of each other. So we're gonna, and talking to the homeowner, homeowner agreed to have the misting pump on the right side of the house because it's very close from the main area, and they can easily control the pump on and off. Also, they can use a smartphone controller as well. It'll be, since this is one of the larger properties, the Wi-Fi connection wouldn't be an issue for the smartphone control. That's essentially how we look for a good location for a misting pump. From the misting pump, you essentially want to get your tape measure out and start measuring how far do you need to go from the pump to your main misting area where you actually need to put your first misting nozzle. So the step number one is to find a good location where you're going to be comfortable putting your pump equipment. And then step number two would be to how would you run the tubing from the pump to your main patios. We're going to show you the final placement of the misting pump. As you can see that it was really simple to set up this pump. We got the water faucet right here, electrical outlet right over there, so the pump simply plugs in to the electrical outlet. The water faucet feeds the water into the filter, so the 6 feet of feed line is provided with your package. Filter kit is provided, and once the filter is mounted, water goes into the pump, and once the pump is plugged in, you simply turn the on and off switch on. You will see your pump will immediately turn on and it's ready to go. Now, one more thing I want to show you today is how important it is to have proper water being fed into the pump. Every 1500 psi pump of ours have a low water pressure safety switch installed on it. So what that does, it basically makes sure that pump has enough water going into it, and while the pump is running, for some reason, if the pressure drops or if someone shuts off the water, it is designed so that it will automatically turn off the pump so that it does not get damaged. So I will demonstrate how that pressure switch works. Our pump is on, our water's on, water's coming out of the outlet. One thing you do also want to notice that because it's 1500 psi, it doesn't necessarily need to shoot out water 20 feet. A lot of people think that, hey, it's 1500 psi, it needs to go out, the water needs to shoot out 20 feet. No, misting systems are closed loop system. That means that once the entire line is hooked up and pressurized, then it builds up the pressure. It is a low flow, meaning it uses very little water. So as you can see, just a bare minimal water comes out. This is a 0.15 GPM pump. It's good for about 20 nozzles. So this is about all the water it needs. And I'm gonna now demonstrate the pressure safety switch. Pump is running, all the conditions are met, water's good, electrical's good into it, water's coming out through the outlet. And while the pump is running, someone accidentally shuts off the water source. As you can see, the pump automatically kicked off. This is a safety built in. This is something that we do not charge extra for. It is a built-in feature of all of our 1500 psi pumps. And as soon as the water is replenished, the pump will automatically turn back on. As you can see, it's back on. So this is to prevent your pump from getting damaged, prevent your seals from getting damaged. It's to add longer life to your pump, and also so that you can simply leave the water on all the time in your pump, not having to turn off water all the time. It also has a built-in solenoid, so as soon as the switch is turned off, the water also stops going through the pump. That is also another feature of our 1500 psi pump. Therefore, you can leave the water on all the time once the installation is done, and simply turn the pump on and off, and only when you turn the pump on, the water will pass through the pump, and when you turn the pump off, immediately the water would stop. This also allows you to use a variety of different timers and controls, such as a smartphone controller or a remote control or a cyclic timer. All of those additional timers can be added to this pump because it has these built-in features already designed into it.